I'm walking. So happy to be walking. Happy to be walking. Thank you for the company.
Great rising, y'all. Great rising. Get your chair. Get your neck.
Yes, indeed.
Get your weight. If you're sitting down, do it weights.
I'm walking. Thank you for the
jump on your bike, jump on your treadmill.
I'm walking.
Okay, yeah.
I'm walking.
I'm back with cameras.
Happy.
Yes.
Walking.
Yes.
Thank you for the
I am happy to be walking. On the real side, I is very happy to be walking. Many folks ain't walking. See, that's a throwback to my coat. I just can't be happy.
Just for me, I'm walking.
I just can't be happy to be walking because I'm happy to be walking. I have to do it in contrast to someone who isn't walking. I'm just happy to be walking. That's my thing. That's my thing. Not contingent on, what the other thing is. Ooh, did I turn her on? Did y'all hear her talk? Y'all just heard me talk.
Power on.
Yeah.
Move.
Oh, Thursday, yes. Bluetooth blue, honey. Y'all remember Betsy? She ain't even do all that Bluetooth stuff. She wouldn't know Bluetooth would be hit in the head. Ha ha! Oh, Betsy. Yeah. Oh. Y'all see the water? Oh, I didn't say get your water. But you can get your water on our break up when we break at 20 minutes. And since I've been putting water back. See, it's different when you live in an area where the seasons change. Because, and in wintertime, y'all know I steam. So I drink a lot of water to steam. But then when I don't steam, and even when I'm walking, I just put down my normal amount of water. And I'm okay. But then, this summer ain't summer, kind of throws you off. And you're sweating. I'm sweating more from walking. So I need more water. But I'm not getting that from the weather. But eventually, I catch myself and I was like, oh, okay, all right, summer. It's still summer. You're sweating more. That tells you that you need to drink more water. And every year I go through this. Now, Glenn sent me something that there's a woman's app that helps you with stuff. But see, for Pride Day, y'all gonna get mad at me. Okay, I'm talking Pride stuff. Go ahead and turn your headsets off. Oh no, put your headsets on. I don't know if you want to stay mellow. Y'all know what I forgot, right? Y'all know what I forgot. I need to feel that breeze. I go to take that breath, and ain't nothing cool I'm sucking in. So, yeah, put your headsets on. Because when the article said that basically there's not a lot known about feminine, the whole female body, because the medical profession is a male-dominated and let me put it like this. I was raised looking at these runway models. We had Twiggy and someone else. And they were straight up and down. But they were fashion models. They were all the it. And of course they were white. So that was it. And if you weren't that, you weren't anything. So you know, that just knocked out a lot of African American women. Twiggy ain't in our DNA. Some is. We mix, we go on, we mutate, all that. But that's how they used to put them out there. And my mother and the older folks used to remark that they look like men. They used to say men in dresses. And I just thought they was hating, being jealous. But now, that's why they're picked. A lot of men designers aren't designing for women. They're designing for men in dresses. For men in these feminine dresses. They're not doing it for women. A woman designer is designing for a woman. The peaks, the valleys, the highs, low. But not a lot of men designers. They're designing for men in dresses. So that's why the female models couldn't have any chest, butt, or anything. They had to look like a boy. Because the clothes that was being designed back in the days were for men. And probably now, look at them. They just started making like big girls and stuff like that. But if you look at the serious designers at the top of the realm that everybody kisses their hoo-hoo-ha for, you'll see that their designs are not for women. They're for men, and that's why skinny women who look just like men are the top models. Ain't that something? And I remember saying, oh, I wish I didn't have this butt. Oh, I wish my butt's too big. Oh, I wish I didn't have this breast. I wish, because the most beautiful and the marvelous people in the world, marvelous, they don't have any chest and they don't have any butt. I wish someone was just smart enough to turn out to say, because they're supposed to look like men. You are a woman. You have curves. They don't want that. The clothes they design are for men. That's the deal. That's the deal. And when you think about men hating women so much, they're all mothers. But they hate them. They hate them so much. They put laws in place to be able to dominate us always. If you don't get married, even here, if you get married, you don't got to pay as much taxes. More things are ready for you. He can stomp you. He can throw you down the stairs, pull your tongue out, hang you by your tongue. And it's still in this society being married to the abuser than it is to be single and a woman. So women are encouraged. And I know a lot of women are standing right next to their husbands and they both know they're talking about abortion. It's horrible. Now y'all both know that y'all done got rid of many of kids because you're too lazy to go on birth control pills. He didn't want to use a condom. But oh, no, no, no. You don't want to be seen as that. So you stand there in your phoniness. There was a show on TLC where these women my age, men, started with a woman, she found out that her parents weren't her parents and she wasn't adopted. I think it wound up with some kind of disease they had or something like that, and the parents that she had didn't have it, and then they said, well, we didn't have you. And she was like, where did I come from? And they said, Kentucky and Mississippi, I want to say Kentucky. It was a doctor in Kentucky who used to abort all the late-term pregnancies of the upper crusty, like the politicians, the police commissioner, captain, who ran around and got these young girls pregnant. And then was ashamed because they would lose their wife and their family if they found out that the young girl had a baby. So even in late term, they would send them to this doctor and say, she can't have it, she can't have it. So he would tell them that he was aborting the baby. But he wasn't, because they were like 7 months. So he would bring the baby out. And there would literally be somebody from the Midwest in a car, and they said basically they went to the back of the doctor's office, and the baby was handed to them out the window, sometime with an umbilical cord still attached, placenta. And they would just drive. One woman said, we just drove straight through, we just drove all night, just hoping the baby would live. A red state, the same people screaming right now. Right now. Oh yeah, I think abortion is bad. I had 30 of them. And it's horrible. I wouldn't do it again. Sit down somewhere. And sit down. Just sit down somewhere. Stay out the conversation. They're so embarrassed that they had to have it. They don't want to think about that abortion they had at 13 from screwing around with their cousin. No, they don't want to think about that. And trust me, I know rape and I know incest. Same for me. They one and the same. But then there's also kissing cousins. It's mountain folk, that's the way it is. That's the cult life. It's the cult life. Okay, I'm just confusing y'all. I'm going to move on to something else. So, of course, they don't want it. They're embarrassed that it was there for them when they needed it. So they are so embarrassed. Just like, I'm going to tie it in, just like when I was a child and we wouldn't want to talk about enslavement days. Everybody would get so embarrassed. Like a rape victim being embarrassed. And I couldn't understand why they were so embarrassed they didn't want to talk about it. And then I went down to the cult. They didn't talk about it because in their head, they was like the Jews being freed by Moses. So they totally, the whole enslavement thing and having the enslavement camps with the big white houses for the enslavers. They didn't want to talk about it. When you said to them, we were enslaved here, we don't have any right, they'll say, we just like the Jews. Just like the Jews. But then Jesus came and set us free. And And I would look at them like, no. But then my life would get too hard if I really expressed that made absolutely no sense. It is not the same thing. It is totally not the same thing. Moses did not take his people and put them on a boat and bring them into a new land. Then they all went on in Africa. Oh, I can't say that because, anywho. I say you can't say that because I got wrapped in the mouth, laughed at, and talked about so badly when I questioned the whole Bible situation, everything being in Africa. Yet, everyone they spoke about was basically European or whites. And smart ass, smart mouth, always trying to make something hard. It just didn't make any sense to me. But trust me, in them cults, they can beat it out you. They can beat you into believing it. For years and years and years, they can make you want to be connected to the family, so you have to believe it if you're going to be connected to the family. You can't say, my sheer will of force, I woke up this morning because I had intentions. You can't say that. Girl, who you think you are? You ain't wake yourself up. Okay. God did it. Everything. Everything. Even for me. All these million billions. I don't have to have a will. And that's why you see these kids don't have them if you're in a cult. They don't want you to have your followers. You're not supposed to have will. You're called a follower. A willless person. You have no will. And I was called willful quite a few times, and I didn't understand it. That's a willful child. I'm like, willful? Is that bad? Well, once you get wrapped in the head or fucked up shit start happening to you that I'll put in the book, then you realize that having a will to think differently can almost get you killed in cults. And you always back your woman. Your man. So if your man votes, you vote that way. Or you get wrapped in the mouth. Or you just keep your mouth shut. Now remember, when, I have to say it like that, I know y'all say it's ignorant, I want to say Aryan woman, the European woman, white woman, got the vote here in America, it was contingent on that we didn't get it. But the white women, they didn't see the reason why they got the vote. Because they had to vote their husband's way. So they really didn't get the vote. He just got 2 votes. African American women saw that. That's why they didn't want us to get the vote. Because we would not be voting like them. That's why the Caucasian woman got the vote. Because that meant that her husband had 2 votes. She didn't get an independent vote. That meant her husband had 2 votes. And now today, Roe Wade, any husband and wife, I'm telling you, you need to do a statistic about that. I want to run across that. Run across that with your Roe Wade investigation. She don't care. He can force her to have as many abortions as possible. But Roe Wade gone, he glad it's gone. Because it's man's world. And you glad it's gone too. Because it's your husband and that's how he feels. Adam's rib, Adam's rib. So you see, I'm so glad our African American ancestors were smart enough to see what it was. What it was, what it am. It am that the white woman got the vote because she didn't get the vote. Her husband got an extra vote. So that's why the cults are in control. Because she's in control through the cults. And that's why her own daughter can get raped by the whole town. And she'll be strapped to deal and raise those kids, but she don't care because the cult leader says, from your tireless efforts, from being downtrodden, you will assuredly make it into heaven. I often wonder why pastors ain't never preached about us just like that, all becoming really wealthy. Water break, and you know the other break too, because I already drunk one of these this morning before I even got here, y'all. Keep for the company. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. So happy to be walking, happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Walking, yes indeed, I'm walking. Oh yeah, just for me, I'm walking. Thank you for the company. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. So happy to be walking, happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Ooh. Here I am, y'all. Here I am. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Okay, let me have just for me, I'm walking. Thank you for the company. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. So happy to be walking. Yes. There was a time I used to say, oh my gosh. And they would say it. Because remember, I'm 64, so my living was done before this millennium. Hold on. The whole time I was doing this, I was like, bring that pant leg down. Sometimes a pant leg can hold you up, child. I used to say, oh my goodness. And my sisters, both my sisters were married. One twice, the other once, and me twice. And see, we didn't understand. And that happens. This is happening to young African American women now because they're more ingrained into the cult. They take their sons to learn how horrible. You don't realize it. You're sitting there at a cult on Sunday with your son, and he's being told by the cult leader, your mama's a hoe. And she don't listen. And when you get older, you may have to take a hand to her. Every Sunday. Anyway. Yes. Yes, I was always uncomfortable with this. I used to say, well why it gotta be us? Well, why something always gotta be wrong with us? Ain't nothing good about us. We ain't never lead nothing or make no invention back in them days. Turned to a pillar of salt. Had so many babies. Thrown on top of the funeral pyre with your husband. Can you imagine in India when a man used to die? They used to burn his body up, and the women would have to freely, well, of course, they'd be killed if they didn't, walk on and lay on top of a hot, burning body until the fires consume you. So it could be that there's 5 people burning there with him. He had his wives, first, second wife, all the concubines. He dead, your life is over. What kind of fuck shit is that? Whew. But here in America, that's what makes you a good woman. If you can take a punch and bounce back, that's what makes you a good woman here in America. If you can have a smile on your face after you cook for your husband and put it in front of him, and he beat you in your face with the food and over your head with the plate, and you smile and you kiss him, you're a good wife. If when you go to the supermarket to buy food for your kids and the account is empty because your husband did it, and you smile and you walk out and you say, kids will starve, you are a good wife. If you allow your husband to bring his mistresses into the house, you're a good wife. If you shut up and do as you're told, you are a good wife. If you need to go out there and do a little sex work to show up the bills, he don't mind, because you're a good wife. Work and turn your paycheck over to him. He don't pay no bills. He don't buy no food. Y'all still making babies until DSS come through and pick them up. But through it all, even when DSS come to get the kids, guess what you are? You're a good wife. Even when you get down with him, because the cult say you have to. If he's doing something illegal, you can't say, no, you're doing something illegal. I'm not in on it. Nope. You say, okay, it's illegal. Okay, because I'm your husband, the cult say, we husband and wife. You go down, I go down. But somehow when they get out of jail, they always get divorced. The ones who want to stay honest. Now the ones that's just ready to hook up and start the tomfoolery all over again, well, they get back together. Start making more babies to be taken away from DSF. But she's a good wife. I got out of jail and we got back together and how'd you go to jail? Well, he had a gun. And he had killed and I didn't know. And then he had and I didn't know. But I had to go to jail. You're a good wife. you're a good wife. Now, see, somebody will say, well, Vicki, what about husbands? Wives out there doing stuff that the husbands don't know about? See, that ain't been my issue in life. I haven't seen that in life. I really haven't. Because first of all, at the mere sign that she doing something, he gone. So I don't know about all that stuff. He's not there. He's gone. Oh, I'm giving you money and you use it. I'll see you later. That's all I know men to do. Oh, I'm out. I don't know them to stay there and be heartbroken and keep trying. I don't know. I've never seen it with my own two eyes. And there's a lot of things I haven't seen. But she'll stick with him because she's a good wife and a good woman. So I said to myself, ooh, because I remember I loved John Camacho. We did real good together. And he wanted to go back to school, DeBry. At that time, that filthy, stinking DeBry, the fact that it's still around. At the time, DeBry it was good engineering school, and John was in a CUNY system, but DeBry had an accelerated engineering graduate course. And you couldn't do anything. You couldn't work. They had no weekend classes, so you couldn't go on the weekend. And so, no problem. I was like, okay, this is what John wanted to do. We went in and we filled out, we got the financial aid, everything. And he would have to stop working. And I manifested me up a job. I said I could find a job. I could find a job with good health insurance that would cover us, me, you, and Day. And you could go to school and I'd make enough money, and I did. It was called the UN Plaza Hotel. And I did. And it didn't interfere with his financial aid. And everything was straight. And then he went to his cult, met with his cult members, and he said to me, you making too much money. I can't still be a man and you make that money. So at first I was like, what? I don't think I've ever envisioned an African American man ever saying that to his mate. I know I haven't heard it. African American men want their mate to get 3-4 jobs. What ain't enough? Good enough. Anyway, he said no. He said, we'll make it somehow. I said, well, how we gonna make it if the grant money that you're getting only cover going to DeBry? We gotta eat. We got a roof over our head. And he's Catholic. He said, don't worry. We'll go to the church and we'll get stuff from the church and they'll take care of us and we'll be okay until I graduate from DeVry. Now, I know some women say, oh, that's so great, that's so wonderful. But I had a daughter before I met John. And I had an obligation to her to make sure she had health insurance, she had a roof over her head, and food in her stomach. And my obligation to her outweighed my obligation to John. So you see why I was a good mother, but not a good wife. A good mother, but not a good wife. I thought I was being both. I'll hold you down, do that accelerated 2 years at DeBry. Don't worry about nothing, even if your teeth start falling out. I got you. I got you. If you need a book, I got you. I was getting paid every week. More money than I ever was for. I manifested my ass off. I used to bring food home. Because they had restaurants and stuff. So a lot of stuff went to the employees. Ate good every time. Brought food home. Snuck food home. And he said, quit. Do I know how he looks? And to me, this is foreign, but he was from Ecuador. So he was a foreigner. So I was like, I don't know what you're saying. You're talking to an American, African American. You got to speak to me in English. Or African American English. Are you telling me that me and my daughter are supposed to just sit back and depend on you, knowing you ain't got no job, you going to school? Am I just supposed to sit here and say, oh well, you ain't give me no price, no plan of action or anything? And he said, yes. The Catholic Church will help us out. See why I'm not a good wife? See why he should have married a Catholic? I ain't understand that. I didn't understand that. Quite frankly, I had never had a church help me out. Maybe my mother, when I was younger, that's why she went to the Lutheran church. We got better apartments when she went to the Lutheran church. But I wasn't a good, so I just worked out how I worked out. And he looked at me and he said, you are not a good wife. And I said, you know what? I gotta agree with you. I really don't do that death do us part. Starve if I starve. Go naked if I go naked. Because I wasn't raised like that. I was raised to always be able to clothe myself. To always be able to put food on the table for me and mine. I'm not scared of working. I'm from babysitting at 9 years old. I volunteered. School, choir. I'm not lazy. I don't know how to just sit back and say, okay, we'll wait for the donations from the Catholic Church to come in. And when the clothes come in, we'll just go there and get all the clothes too. And then if my daughter gets sick, we'll go there and we'll beg them for clothes and stuff. And then we'll go to church every Sunday and get on our knees and crawl around and stuff. I was like, and what I liked about John, he was the president of the junior NAACP. I swore I thought he knew more about African Americans than he did. He didn't. He didn't. He really didn't know. He didn't know. He had no idea. None. So, I was a good wife. I know my first husband, I wasn't a good wife for him either. He was from Ghana. And his whole thing was his men friends. Because I think he had some Muslim in him along the way somewhere. So, he was all about friends. So, I could come home from work, dragging the baby behind me, grocery bags, and walk in, and there's music playing, and they're partying every day of the week. Every day of the week, there are men in your house that you don't know, talking a language you don't know nothing about, eating food so hot you can't eat it, but ain't no food for you because he didn't buy food for you. He bought food for his friends to come over. Now, if I was a good wife, I would just shut up and sit down somewhere. Then, I was a good wife when he was able to go back to Africa. He literally stopped paying the rent, buying food and everything for about 3 or 4 months. And I was a good wife. I foot the bill till I couldn't because I only had a 2-month baby home, so I had to stop. And then I looked at him and said, go to Africa, but when you come back, don't come here. Don't come here. Don't come here. You ain't never put nothing here, no way. But this was down the line because I kept trying to be a good wife. So my daughter was about 2 years old when I finally did. But put it in time. We were together 2 years, he had to get his green card, da-da-da-da. And then he takes trips, and I said, don't come back. I'm not a good wife. And they always say, they get mad at American women because they're saying I can do bad by myself. But in cults, they say, no, you do bad with your husband. You don't do bad by yourself. You do bad with your husband. Your husband say starve, you starve. If your husband say everybody walk around naked, you walk around naked. I'm listening to true crime stuff about these Appalachian women and stuff like that. And basically, if their husband tells them to get on their knees and lick the floor with their tongue, they'll do it. Because in the end, they're just being good wives. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. People say, oh, you got to make sacrifices for a marriage. I thought marriage was working together for the greater good and to grow. I didn't know that when you get married, it basically is called sacrificing. What are you doing on Wednesday? Well, this guy I like, we're going to go and we're going to hook up and I'm going to start sacrificing. So that's why they're going to calm down. We don't, no offense, I call you white women, Aryan women, European women, they calm down. The husbands will go get them some perfume in the pocketbook. They always do. Always was. Take them out for dinner. Buy them a pearl necklace. Get them a car. Stop slapping them around for about 2 or 3 days. And then they calm down and it's all over with. And that's why I'm so glad to be African American, because we don't roll like that. And basically, they ain't trying to stop us from doing anything. They've been trying to kill off our babies. As I'm speaking right now, they're still killing us off our babies. So we know that's not our issue. So we know that's not our issue. That ain't got nothing to do with us. But the white women gonna calm down soon. Because the boyfriends kiss them in the air. Ain't you glad? Ain't no roadway. That is until you get pregnant. And then you say, oh, I'm so pregnant. I'm pregnant. Isn't that happy? Oh, it's great. Oh, I didn't tell you I was married. Married? No, Why do you think I couldn't spend the night? I thought we was just dating. No, I'm married, and I can't have no babies. Well, you can't get no abortion now either. Like my daughter said. My daughter said, Mommy, it's going to be such an influx of mixed race children you would not believe. Because, honey, let me tell you, one thing that them women will do, sorry, Caucasian, Aryan, white women, one thing y'all will do, if y'all caught a jungle fever, y'all sure will see if y'all can get rid of the bug. See, jungle fever bug. All right, tuck in the elbow. Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Now when you get jungle fever, everybody gonna be able to see that you caught the jungle fever. You ain't gonna be able to keep it undercover. And my name is Earl. That is the best part when Joy has that little African American baby. And that's a lot going on. But now they ain't gonna be able to get rid of them. Let's go. Which is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 for good luck. Now when you say, that's Leroy's baby, you gotta keep Leroy's baby. And if you stay with your husband and you keep the mixed race kid of Leroy, ask mixed race kids who are the only one of a predominantly white family. There's plenty of movies out here about them. A lot of documentaries too. Okay? But this time you have to keep them. Yes! So I tell y'all, happy to be walking. Hey, like, comment, share. Thanks for coming on the walk. Yeah. Ha ha. Tell a cousin, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, because the devil put the doctor to do. Like, comment, share. Okay. Woo, yeah, y'all. Yes, indeed. I'm walking. I'm walking. Yes. I'm walking. Thank you for coming on the walk. I see Penelope. I see Loretta. I see Sid. I see everybody come through and give me the thumbs up. And I appreciate it so much. My cousin for me. My cousin for me. Thank you for the company. Everybody, I got gym brain, so I couldn't even think of your name right now. That's what I call it when I exercise. Walking. Yeah! Yes, indeed. I'm walking. I'm walking. Drinking chat. Just for me. I'm walking. Thank you for the company. Let me turn this on. I'm walking. I'm walking. I'm walking. So happy to be walking. Yeah! When you are in a climate where seasons change, drinking water can get away from you. For me, in the wintertime, I drink water, but I steam. But in this in-between summer, and I screws up sometimes. Come on. Oh, 1 liter. See? I'm not showing y'all no label because ain't nobody giving me nothing. But the water's giving me what I need. Y'all too, right? I swallow so hard in my ears. But don't you feel good after you know, like this is my second quart. I'm telling y'all. See, if I was at the gym, I would know right away. Hit it, back it up, back it up, back it up. But now, I'd be forgetting stuff like water. Summertime, more water. Summertime, more water. Sweat, drink more water. Exercise, drink more water. But somehow you still forget. Oh, let's remember now. Certain things my daughter used to drink, I used to tell her, excuse me, I used to tell her, just throw it back. Don't try to do 2 cups, 1 cup, the whole thing and just put it to your mouth, throw your head back and empty it. Because, you know, somehow I was smarter when I was raising her. You see how? Anyway, let's get back to drinking. Sometimes I get my mouth over the top. I am not making... This is a clean show. And I can control the air. And then I can just swoop it down. So let me see. That's what I'm going for. Oh, oh, oh. I do like the belch though. Let's take this down. That went all the way down, y'all. Felt good. Now you ain't got to walk around with a glass all day. I had one before I woke out, quart before I worked out, quart after. Then I got a quart for the afternoon. That's what happens when you chug. I should be on some kind of belching contest. Anyway, y'all, thanks for coming on the walk. I appreciate you so much. I hope y'all are drinking with me. I hope y'all are drinking with me. Okay. Somehow this goes. I turned off too many times. We're not going to leave with music. Thanks for coming on the walk. Tell a friend, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, and I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. Thanks for the company.